questions to Mr. Howe. This question comes from someone out there with very nice handwriting. Mr. Howe, last night you proposed the creation of a school board compliance officer who would investigate students to determine if they are legally eligible to attend our schools. Investigating every student is a daunting task for one person. Where would this person begin? How are students identified as suspected violators? Why should we spend $74,000 on this position instead of hiring teachers?
The position of truancy compliance was a position I had recommended after speaking with Dr. Melton. The concern I had was ensuring that our tax dollars were being protected. Every student that comes to the city represents about $12,000 annually to the city. Of that, we receive about half of that through federal and state funding. The balance of the funding comes from us, the taxpayers. If we are going to grow our city and we are going to make it a place where folks want to come, we must have the best school system possible. We must protect that investment. The addition of the additional position of the compliance officer was specifically set aside so that we would ensure that our tax dollars were being protected at a nominal fee. I had proposed a position with the understanding that it would have an ROI position on it, in other words, a return on investment. In other words, if we are not attaining and we are not finding and we are not achieving the tax savings and also ensuring that we are protecting the tax dollars of the citizens, then the position would be turned off. The idea was to ensure that everybody that was coming to our schools put their head down within the city, and therefore we were protecting our students as well as our school system to make it the best possible, so we did not have folks coming here using it as a daycare service.
If I could follow up 1 second. Did the school board ask for this position?
Position Dr. Melton and I discussed as a position when we were looking at the cost of the student to the city and the impact of students that did not belong within the city. Dr. Melton and I discussed it. He indicated at the time before I had proposed this that he would discuss it and work with us. I proposed it as a wish list item on council, as an item that we would discuss and that I brought forward as such.
Thank you.
This question is an important one to look at holistically for our city. As a city, it has been years since 2008 when we gave our city employees, including our teachers, a cost of living increase. And I think that that is unacceptable. So what we need to do as a city is to have the drivers of economic growth put in place so that we generate more revenue so that we can pour into the infrastructure of our city. This position is just one position to discuss in the larger scheme of things. And so what I laid out in my agenda, which you can find on paxandformayor.com, is an aggressive agenda to generate revenue for our city so we can reinvest it back into the infrastructure, which includes our employees and most importantly our teachers, because it's unfortunate to keep hearing stories of losing some of our best teachers to other districts because they can pay them more money.
The prevailing opinion in the discussion that occurred at our work session was that, first of all, this is seriously interfering with the way we run our schools. The school boards run the schools. The school administration runs the schools, not the council. You've got to think about that. It also makes the assumption that the schools don't know their students. We know that every teacher knows their students. These teachers, our teachers, are burdened not only with educating their students, they deal with their social problems as well. They deal with their families as well. If it is a problem, it has got to be, it is a very small problem, and Dr. Melton has indicated to other counselors that he does not need this position. And it was the general, so this was something that I personally disagreed with. I think for those two reasons. It is not the council's position to be hiring an employee to go into the schools and investigate the students, number one. Number two, oops, I'm done. Sorry. Apologize.
We allow the candidate who speaks first to have a rebuttal, and our candidate here has requested one. 30 seconds.
I feel very strongly, as you can tell, for the compliance officer. The reason I had discussed this one-on-one with Dr. Melton predominantly because the city schools' responsibility is to teach, not to police. And this was an effort in order to reduce their workload by not having to police. Thank you.